Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Well, I am finished with Spare. I finished in the very wee hours of the morning. And anyway, you can imagine I was up all night, but I was determined to finish. And wowee, I tell you, that was quite a journey. I have to say, thank you, Prince Harry. It was everything that I needed it to be, that I wanted it to be, everything that people have been saying that it is. It it was how do I put it? It was a journey. That's what it was. It was a journey. It was a journey of self-realization. I felt so connected to Princess Diana. I felt very connected to Prince Harry, of course, and our Princess Meghan. So, with all of those connections being made, and then also it explained a lot better things that we've all known about or speculated over the years. And gosh, it's just weird for me to say over the years, but it has literally been years. I mean, I first heard of Meghan November of 2017, and it is January 2023. Good God, where's the time gone? But yeah, it's been years already. So that was what I needed. So it gives me not exactly why you couldn't even say closure because there's other books coming and there's just even hearing that there was 800 pages and it was chopped down to just over 400, then it's glaringly obvious that there's another book and probably a few more. So, but I would say Harry has definitely gotten the attention of the establishment of the firm, if you will, and I think he'll be hearing from him. As a matter of fact, they may already be in touch with him, and I think that if Charles is to have a successful coronation, he had better do something because he's a very easy man to overshadow, even with all of the wealth and privilege that he has. He's very easy to overshadow, and he has very frayed and fragile nerves when it comes to people clouding out his sunlight. But he's an easy one to cloud out because he doesn't really command much in terms of attention. He doesn't really hold a room, not just because of his age. He's always been like that. I mean, he's been an old man since he was born. There's no youth, vigor, and vitality there. What little there was has dissipated years ago. So, all right. So I had to channel Miss Seeley because I waited for my book. Then I received my book. I was literally standing up there looking like, anything come for me? Well, something did come for me. It was called Spare. And so I got it and I treasure it now. So let me say hello to a few people. Uh, Hi, Cynthia Thorpe, Lydia Washington, Lucy Wynn, Panther 325, Noreen Lovelock, hi, Joya Moore, Unstoppable Favor, hi, Judith Reynolds, who else we have? Mary H, Fancy, Adrian Burrow, Amy Girl, Elaine Parker, Annie Bullard, and who else do we have here? Emma D, Francilia Mosley. Hi, Carol Lund. So I am going to just take a scroll, make sure that I didn't miss any super chats. And by the way, hello to everyone. What's going on, Church Nelly? What's going What's going on? You forgot the words to the song or what? I know Saturday night, Church Nelly, my imagination runs wild. I could only imagine Church Nelly has just woken up from Saturday night. Couldn't find her straight edge razor, her six shooter. What else? Well, of course, her pocketbook. Uh, so Church Nellie is it's not unusual for her to wake up yelling, "Police, police!" A matter of fact, do we have any footage of Church Nellie waking up and calling for the popo? Let me see if I have any footage of that. Uh,
Police! 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 Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
and that's when you know that Church Nellie has had a good weekend. So, hey, Sheila Watson. Let's see here. His coronation may be at risk due to the fact that he had an affair. I read that someone online, read that from someone online. Okay. Well, of course, having a extramarital affair, marrying the mistress, you know, the mistress is someone you step out with. You don't marry the mistress. Well, he did, but in this so-called modern age, I guess he can get away with it. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And Connie Balmer, thank you, Connie Balmer, for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Very grateful. Thank you very much, both of you, and happy Sunday to one and all. Okay. All right. So, Church Nelly, I still didn't find out what what mishap has occurred. Did you just like wake up and wasn't sure where you were? I mean, not wake up. Did you just come to and weren't sure where you were? Oh man. Oh wow. Thank you so much, Rick. Thank you for the super sticker and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Sunday to you too. So anyway, we'll have to talk church. I'll be there for you when I can. Let me see here. Uh okay. All right. All right, so oh man. All right, so let's get into it then, shall we? Since let me oh yeah, I got my slides. Very cool. All right, so I'm just gonna open up another window so I can see what you guys are seeing, especially for the people. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that little echo. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I think so. So, I couldn't help but overhearing what caller to pedal the other day. I want to hear that call. What day was that? That sounds like fun. Oh, Black Queen, see how we always seem to be on the same wavelength. See there? We have that connection. Yes, that's what I want to know about is that crazy oh, it was yesterday. All right, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that because I hear that Anastasia Romanoff or Mary Queen of Scots or somebody called. Was it Anastasia Romanoff of the Russian royal family, a survivor of the massacre? Did she call in? Um, could it have possibly been Joan of Arc? Because I don't know, whoever called in, it sounded like somebody missed their meds to me. That sounds like someone missed their medication. Someone was, how do you say it? someone's elevator wasn't going all the way up to the top floor. Yeah, somebody got off on the 13th floor. And for those of you guys who have never been to the United States or never been in one of our skyscrapers, mostly as a rule, we don't have 13 floors. It just skips and goes right to 14 because people are so superstitious. So, bet you didn't know that, did you? But yeah, a lot of, especially the old buildings, they don't have a 13th floor. Okay. But that's enough for all that Who Shot John. Oh man. I just pictured Church Nellie waking up after one of her Saturday nights and just breaking into song. I ain't got the change of a nickel. Ain't got no bounce in my shoes. Ain't got no fancy to tickle. I ain't got nothing but the blues. Ain't got no coffee that's perkin'. Oh, ain't got no winnings to lose. Ain't got no telephone numbers. I ain't got nothing but the blues. Okay, but that's enough about Church Nellie's Saturday night. Um, all right, so here we go. Prince Harry's appearance on Stephen Colbert Late Show um, scored the largest weeknight audience for the show in more than 2 years, with 3.5 million total viewers, the most on a weeknight since former President Barack Obama appeared on the show in November 2020. Isn't that something? Harry has beat Barack Obama's record for his book sale. Well, at least for the first day book sale, and now he's like giving him a run for his money with the Stephen Colbert crowd. Wow, that is impressive, especially for a book that was leaked, and of course, for someone that everybody in the world supposedly doesn't care for anymore. All of those things that is supposed to be going against him, but yet there's this huge audience, especially 3.15 million in this day and age of streaming and such. That is incredibly impressive. And then, of course, there's Prince Harry's 60 Minutes interview when Anderson Cooper drew 10.52 million viewers for CBS. That's up a plus 16% from the news magazine season average to date. Now, you guys have heard me drone on and on and on about the relevance and importance of 60 Minutes. And I'm going to say it again, nothing like 60 Minutes Australia. 60 Minutes US is one of the longest running and most highly decorated news magazine shows in history. And I have been watching since I was a child. I feel so much more informed about things that I may not have even cared about before it was featured on 60 Minutes. Let me give you another great example. Ed Bradley, was it Ed Bradley? That was the African American gentleman, right? I sometimes mix up the names, but I believe it was Ed Bradley. And he said that when he dies and goes to heaven, if God asked him, you know, are you worthy to be here? Or St. Peter, who's at the gate? St. Peter? Yeah, if St. Peter asked you, are you worthy to be here? What would you hold up as an example of the best thing you've ever done in life? And he said it was his interview with Lena Horne. So that is one of those things that I take away from 60 Minutes that says to me, this is more than just a fleeting fancy having Prince Harry on the show. It was a great honor to be on that type of American television show with that history. So again, Stephen Colbert, he's given the former president a run for his money with the numbers, and then of course 60 Minutes. No easy feat. Now 60 Minutes is like a Mercedes. If you show up at the dealership, the car really sells itself. You already want the car. So you can't really go wrong being on 60 Minutes. But to have lifted their viewership up plus 16%, that just goes to show the popularity of the um, Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry. So bravo for both of those, right? And then let's carry on here. So a staggering 96% of readers say they won't read Spare. And that's according to the Express. And the Sussex Squad Detective Agency took exception to that and said, wait a minute. Express, I'm sorry, Daily Express profile, sensational story that appeals to everyday people, readership. 548,000 people a day might grab that paper, right? Um, and there's a circulation of 311,000. Okay, so I wonder if that includes online. And then readership, okay, readership 548,000 Monday through Saturday print, circulation 311,000 average per issue. Oh, okay. Daily newspaper. All right, fine. And then over here, Wikipedia, published in London. It is the flagship of Express newspapers owned by publisher, what is that? Reach Publication. It was first circulated, blah, blah, blah. Circulation 179,165 as of November 2022. Uh, well, in a population of 67.33 million, that a fraction of a percentage of people. Now I'm going to tell you, I didn't do well in math, but out of all of those people, 67.33 million people, and you have just a fraction of them that are reading the Daily Express in the first place, what difference does it make if 96% of your people say they are not going to buy or read Spare? Who cares? I mean, you are downwind from things like the Daily Fail and the Sun. That's not saying much. Just like the old legacy news media everywhere, readership is plummeting. Everybody is fighting for that ever shrinking pie. They want a slice of that ever shrinking pie. Who cares that your people say they're not going to read it? They say that, but let me say this, all of these leaks and excerpts and stuff like that, yeah, maybe they don't have the courage or conviction to just go out and buy the book that they really want to read. But I tell you this much, they are following along every detail of the book that has been leaked or serialized in some kind of way. They're following the book. So I don't care that they don't want to buy it. You don't want to buy it, don't buy it. I mean, but there's like probably at this point almost 2 million other people that feel otherwise. So I don't even know what the numbers are for right now, but I'm telling you, when the next numbers come out, it is going to be phenomenal. So, um, so what? Daily Express, downwind from the fail and the sun, and they have the nerves to say 90%, 96% of our readers shan't ever read Spare. So, oh God, how you bore me. Uh I think Harry said it best when he said, boom. And by the way, you guys, since I have completed Spare, I kind of feel a bit of what I had assumed about the Queen is accurate. If you guys have finished the book, and I'm hoping to be prepared to kind of dive into some of the finer points of the book tomorrow when I have more time to prepare for it. But I when Harry said that I want to make sure that my grandmother is being looked after properly, I better understand exactly to what he was speaking of, because um, that 96-year-old woman seemed to have some pretty dark, sinister forces around her. Um, and I don't know that she had much command over her schedule, if you will, or anything else for that matter. Pretty scary stuff. That you would think that the queen, um, would have been safer than the average person of her age, but it seems like no. Um, she had been reduced to being treated like a child, more or less, and that the people that were governing her day seemed to decide exactly what manner of business or what type of schedule she had, and even who she spoke to, maybe even what she ate for the day. So, pretty scary stuff. And knowing the history of that family, oh, I'm surprised that there aren't more conspiracies out there. I think the only reason why there aren't more conspiracies is because of her age. I'll just say that. Let me take a couple comments here. So Carolyn H says, they won't buy it, but when they have an opportunity to read it, you bet they will. Of course they will. Yeah, because they're too curious. I mean, the defiance of I refuse to buy that book doesn't mean they won't read it when they get the opportunity. And the book is going to be circulating out there for quite some time. Everybody knows the cover of that book. The cover of that book has become so iconic, you can't miss it. It just jumps out at you. So let me see. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Matilde Zaya says, are they counting on the Commonwealth readers? Well, let's not forget the other languages. That figure that we received this week did not include the printings or distributions in other languages. So there's a good chance that when some new numbers come out, it well anyway, I'm just hopeful that it's going to really make the point that Harry's popularity, and of course the story that, and of course look at how people are just saying, not only am I better informed, but it's just a good read. It's a great read. It is like fire and music, if you will, to steal a line from All About Eve. It's like fire and music. So um, I don't know how that translates into other languages, but it's I think they're going to do a second printing soon, or if they haven't started yet. But I saw like this one bookstore where the lady said, "Oh, for sure, we're going to order another batch of them because they're selling very well." So that's you can look forward to. Okay. Patricia Gordon says, good Sunday evening to all Sussex family. It's very cool in Kingston, Jamaica today. Oh, nice, nice. Um, and Sheila Watson says they probably have spare, but put a different cover on it so no one would know they are reading it. Now, you know what? There you go. Or they may have it on their Kindle or something like that. Yeah, they may just do it electronically so nobody knows the difference. Ann Fu says, Baron, it occurred to me today that not only are you unique, you are universal in your supporters too from all over the globe, and all are most welcome. Bless you, Baron. And Fu, thank you so much for saying that. I'm glad to know that. I'm glad I translate. But yeah, it's good to know that people here, there, and everywhere may, just randomly or by chance or by design find themselves watching, listening to Royal Sussex, there was someone who I recall left a comment saying that they were an expat someplace and that they were a bit homesick and that they enjoyed Royal Sussex so that they didn't feel as isolated or lonely or whatever it was. But what a compliment, right? I'm glad to know that. So thank you so much, Anfu. Let me see here. Would it be? Oh, there. I'll do that. Would it be interesting to see if Harry will go with? Is it Bradby again? We'll see. He came off as having an agenda. Yeah, Tom Bradby. There were a lot of people who didn't care for the way he seemed to interrogate Harry, and Harry handled himself extremely well, which just goes to show if you're not lying, you don't have to be nervous and reactive. You just need to stick to your story and tell your truth. And that's exactly what Harry did. He did exactly what needed to be done, and he did it in a way that was very genuine. And people will pick up on that. And even the people who don't like him, you know, instead of trying to um, portray him as being a liar, they'll just say that he's stupid and being controlled by a cult or something like that, which that was mentioned in the book. So, about his therapy and whether or not he's being influenced, and so he addresses that in his book without giving away too much. But I promise you, tomorrow I will be more, free to share that. But I just want to give everyone that extra day before, I start popping off at the mouth about stuff that I've picked up from the book. So, hey, Black Queen. Black Queen says Betty set it up like that. When she was young and in her prime, she could have set the precedence. That's true, Black Queen. That is true. When the Queen took the throne in 19, what, 52, 55, it was like time stopped. And the evolution of the House of Windsor was ever so slight. It moved at a glacial pace. As a matter of fact, the movement of that family toward modernity kind of reminds me of Nana's hair line, like a tectonic plate ever so slowly grinding up against another tectonic plate, causing uplift and downward throw. Why you get me started talking about Nana? I was doing just fine, and then here you come, and now you got me talking about Nana and her Lola Falana hair. But when I picture the evolution of that family, that's exactly what comes to mind is the very slow pace of the movement of the tectonic plates rubbing against each other, causing friction, which leads to things like earthquakes and the creation of mountains and lava flows and such. So, if that's not too far of a reach, thank you for your comment. I hope that made sense. Oh man. Uh, um, Let me see here. Oh, did I see? Oh, there it is. I thought I saw a super chat. So Leg says Jabba and Calmilla's son. Um, Jabba and Calmilla's son. Wait, Jabba. Now, are we talking about? Robert Jobson, right? And Camilla's son. Okay, he's the one that runs the YouGov. Got it. Have been working overtime to convince the UK people that Harry and Meghan are not popular. Same playbook, pathetic. I actually was looking at some of those charts or graphs about popularity from some time ago. And it's amazing that at the very zenith of Meghan's popularity, they always made sure that when they presented the figures, that she was at least 10% lower than Kate. And it's just like with the Instagram. If you recall, no matter what the amount of Instagrams the Sussexes had, there was always a consistent figure of higher subscribers for the Cambridges, even when the Sussexes were not active on Twitter. They never seemed to break a certain level, which lets you know that there was some type of manipulation, I allege, with the figures. And so there is so much validity to what you say, that it's a way to play with those numbers. And the establishment, such as it is, whether it's Camilla's son or nephew or whatever he is to the YouGov poll, and of course, Robert Jobson, who, curiously enough, I just saw him on a documentary about Princess Diana's sudden death in the Paris tunnel. And it's amazing some of the places where all of these royal commentators pop up over the years. There's no pretense of objectivity when it comes to their reporting. It's all pro monarchy all the time. Even if they take members of the family to task, you know they're doing it on behalf of someone else. It's not because they feel compelled to do it. They definitely are not going to lose their positions. They want to make sure that on behalf of, say, the Queen or Charles or someone, they feel they need to wag their fingers, editorially speaking, at some other members of the royal family. And it's like this talking or dialogue that is very public in order to curtail someone's behavior, or at least to punish them or humiliate them publicly to get the desired outcome. It's just very bizarre that they just don't meet and have a discussion until there's a meltdown, which is what I find from the book, is that the briefing against one another is to create a desired outcome rather than actually being more proactive and sitting down with that person and having a logical discussion. It's either an argument or briefing, an argument or briefing. That's what I've gotten from the book. It's either an argument or briefing. But it seems like it's very rare that they just work out things for themselves. And in between all of that is the courtiers and the correspondence. Thank you so much, Legs. And thank you for the super chat. Much obliged. Happy Sunday to you. So let's move on, shall we? Boom. Came across this again. And after reading, or should I say, um, listening to Harry with the book, The Spare, this picture just kind of really resonates like never before. Looking at all of those faces, those long, drawn up faces, those angry, disappointed faces, and that the Sussexes literally walked into the lion den. The lion and the lioness, known as Harry and Meghan, literally walked through that pack of hyenas with their heads held up high, not giving a rat's behind one way or the other. That's a testament to the strength of their relationship, because there's a lot of women who probably would have bolted a long time ago. Meghan made the commitment and she stuck with him. He made the commitment and he has definitely stuck up for her. And when I hear people say, oh, but Harry lost so much, look at what she gave up with the promise that there would be opportunity for you to continue your work and that you could work on behalf of the Queen and the Commonwealth. So Meghan gave up everything, closed her home, uh, quit the show. She closed everything out, even got rid of her social media account, only to be humiliated by a very racist institution, publicly humiliated, punished, mistreated, lied about, misrepresented in every way that anybody could imagine, from being accused of being a porn star to, um, her mother going to jail for tax evasion. You name it, they said it or done it. And there she is with her head up high in spite of all of that. So when I hear people say, "Oh, Harry gave up all these things and he went to California," yeah, he gave up a life that he never wanted, a life that was quite brutal to him, friends that he found out were not really his friends. Yeah, that's giving up a lot. I think aside from being in his home country, for someone as warm blooded as himself, I'm sure he enjoys the cool, damp temperatures of the United Kingdom. But aside from that, his grandma is gone. And so the co-conspirators, known as his father, his brother, and his stepmother, if that's what he's missing, I mean, his cousin, his favorite cousin, comes to visit him. So who cares about them? So walk proud through those pack of wild dogs and hyenas, and hold your head up high, king and queen. It's not even that serious, and and he's happy. So and I'm happy for him. And anything I could do to lend support to them, I am definitely going to do it. Um, Let me see here. I'm gonna take a look at a couple of your comments here. Oh, okay. So they're lying and they're reading it. That's why they're so mad and trying hard not to address Harry's grievance about the courtiers and the tabloids. 80s forever. Amen to that. I love the 80s. That was a fun time, wasn't it? One of the things that I wished I could have done if I could go back in time, I would love to go to Studio 54, except for those nights when it was snowing inside. I um I don't want to see that Studio 54. But but they were only open for 3 years. I think they closed 80 or 81, didn't they? Oh man. And then came Dynasty Age. That was the 80s. Lots of shoulder pads, helmet hair, tight pants. Hell, I thought every day was a football game. Yeah, that was the 1980s. Okay, yes, they are undercover readers. Thank you, Annie Bullard. Okay. Okay, Angela says, I think some people was buying the book from Africa, but Amazon and the others aren't popular in some parts of Africa, as far as I'm aware of. Okay. Well, I mean, I hope that it does well everywhere, but that's interesting. I had no idea. But some countries have their own version of Amazon. So let me see. Oh, that's not for me. Mad World says the Queen wasn't a weak one. Look how she treated Margaret after noticing Margaret was becoming more popular than her. Yeah, Mad World, but she wasn't in her 90s then either. So I'm sorry if it's not a convenient narrative to say that the woman was in her 90s and God only knows what was happening. That may come out in another book, but by the time I got to the end of Spare, I was like, that's interesting. Um, I don't want to give away too much. I will tell you the part that stuck out with me tomorrow. So, it, just a warning. Tomorrow, I want to start talking about certain parts of the book, and that really validated a lot for me. Now, okay, I will say maybe Harry's seen it through his eyes a certain way, And maybe she was the kind of person that most people seem to think she was. But toward the end, I am going to be a little more flexible about things because, 96 is 96. And especially when you may be terminally ill at that point, there's a lot of things that may be going on with you, and trying to solve a problem that you're about to leave this world and leave behind may not be one of them. So let's talk about it tomorrow. I promise. Let me see. Lorna Castellano says, Happy Sunday, Baron and Squatties from 305. Okay, well, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you so much for being here, and also thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. But I hope that scandal comes out. I just if it's what it sounds like, that it I'll put it to you like this. What Harry is saying about his brother will be the least of their problems. And also, it says another thing that is pretty frightening, and someone ought to be concerned about that. You next. You are next. All that stuff you may have been looking the other way and pretending like you didn't notice or whatever. You're next. That's all I'm going to say. You're next. So, as I say in that ominous tone, let me see here. Well-being Rose AT says reading the book is an eye opener, and H takes you into a different world of so-called royal life. That is very wise to put it that way, because that's how I feel about it. It just takes you into another world, and he paints with such vivid colors everything that was happening that well, what could I say? It just seems to have awakened me to certain things that that we've all speculated about, and then you find out, wow, there's something to that. Uh, oh, okay. Let me see. Anyone on Twitter? Okay, let me hold on a second. I'm gonna have to check that out myself then. Let me see if I can find that. There it is. And boom! Booyah! There you go. Okay, 1,410 people in here. How come we only got 394 likes? Are you serious? And also, if you're in the live chat and you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Especially anybody who's hate listening or a deranger, just hit the like button and then also subscribe. Stop playing. That way, I will be able to irritate you on a daily basis, and you won't miss your daily dose of irritation, as I say before I get messy about your faves. Okay. Um, let me take a sip of water. I'm going to need it for what I have to do. Where is Meghan? She's usually grafted to Harry's side. I hear you, sir or ma'am. I hear you, sir or ma'am. Sarah Vine, sir or ma'am. I hear you. But also, I have to wonder, how come I have never seen Sarah Vine and Harvey Feinstein in the same room at the same time? So if you are concerned, if you have this overwhelming concern about Prince Harry or the Duchess of Sussex whereabouts, I have to beg the same question. How come I have never seen Sarah Vine and Harvey Fierstein in the same room at the same time? I swear, I can't tell one from the other. So, one thing really stuck oh, I'm sorry. One thing really struck me about Prince Harry's media blitz last week, not so much the careless inaccuracies, oh, that's a leading statement, and his various accounts of events. And she would know this because she was with Harry the entire time, right? We're talking about Sarah Vine. She has been with Harry for the past nearly 40 years of existence. He's been in every room and every situation that he's spoken about in his book. So, of course, she's an expert. From the death of the Queen Mother to recollections of his first date with Meghan. Oh my God, is she really questioning Harry about the first date with Meghan, nor even his petulance bordering on naked aggression toward the few hand-picked journalists. Oh, here we go. Here we go. That's what's really bothering her. The hand-picked journalists enlisted to help sell his narrative. Did he ask for your help? Whenever any of them dared to ask him anything, even vaguely approximating a searching question. No real question in my mind in this. Where was Meghan? Meghan is living peacefully in Montecito in the stately, palatial, opulent, picturesque Sussex Manor, where there are no leaks. There are no leaks in Montecito, and that's another thing. Eye pollution.
Police! 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 Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
Okay, so Church Nelly, I get it now. When you were yelling for the police, you were having a premonition about this image of Sarah Ma'am, Sarah Vine. So Sarah Vine, who has a striking resemblance to Harvey Firestein, um, wants to know where Megan is. Megan is mad in her business. She is somewhere being rich and successful and monitoring the daily operations of the Archwell Productions, Archwell Foundation, and a few other things that she's involved with, especially the up and coming season of the podcast, which I'm sure will return, especially since it became the number one podcast all over the place and also boosted the numbers of paid subscribers to Spotify. They literally had a huge amount, millions of new paid subscribers thanks to the Duchess of Sussex. Anytime your numbers have changed from one year to another, and that change has started the day that a very popular podcast hit the airways, then what are you going to attribute that to? Serendipity? I don't think so. I am going to say that the Duchess of Sussex has brought home the bacon, just like Harry has brought home the bacon for Stephen Colbert, for the publishing company, and even 60 Minutes, among others. So, what do you want to do? What's your point? There, you guys, we're squatties, right? We know, we know that Harry has made so many trips and so many journeys alone, whilst Meghan stayed at the stately, palatial, opulent, picturesque Sussex Manor, where there are no leaks in Montecito, Santa Barbara, California. He's taken those trips by himself. So why is this laboring your thoughts about why she's not making these journeys to Stephen Colbert and other places? They have children. They have beautiful young children. And most importantly, they have each other. Unlike you, they are not alone, right? They're not alone. They have each other. They have the wonderful grandma for the kids, and of course, all of the friends and family that they have in California, even though they're not, posting these images online. It's amazing how we always find out later on that the Sussexes have had a play date, or the Sussexes have gone to dinner at someone's house, or they have come to their house. But there's all kind of things happening at the Santa Barbara home of the Sussexes, and nobody is any the wiser. So I understand why she's, asking this question. Where is Meghan? Trying to smoke her out so they can have something to write about. But the thing is, they have kind of run out of things. So they flooded the airways with all kind of misinformation about the book, about Harry, about everything, and so they're running out of stuff. So they choose to ask, "Where is Meghan? We need to find something to criticize her about, or ask questions or whatever." So, it. Oh man, but okay. So let me get rid of her. Let me see. Oh, that's not for me. Okay. Let me see. Why is it that the ugliest, scariest thing from the pits of you know where always seem to have Meghan's name in their awful, hideous mouths? 1960, I could not imagine. Maybe she needs a new kitchen, or maybe she needs to get some work done on her car. And the only way to do that is to find something, if anything, something that she can say about Meghan. Now, and let us not forget the constant attacks. Oh, so you're not sure whether that's actually Sarah Vine. My point exactly. Thank you so much, Irish Demonia. That is my point exactly. You don't know whether it is or is not Sarah Vine. Well, Kate Herrera, it could be Harvey Firestein, or it could be Sarah Vine. But the truth is, you cannot be sure. I'm pretty sure there has been many occasions where Sarah Vine herself may have been out and somebody was like, "Sir," or "Ma'am, uh, pardon me, sir," or "Ma'am." So yeah, that's who it is. That's all I'll say. Nothing more. So what's that? The football team, the Buffalo Bills, just tweeted a video of Megan on Deal or No Deal to celebrate their wild card victory. Really? Huh. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I'll have to look for that later. Mary Hiker says, "Why are they so upset? These two people love one another. I'll never understand how people are against love." Well, it's the absence of love in their own lives that make them so angry and so volatile. It's because they have an absence of it. Lips and Lashes says, Baron, what pained, frustrated little Miss Piggy Sarah Vine was. They had already written in the tabloid that Meghan will be appearing in all of Prince Harry's recent interviews. Did they? Really? They had wrote that? Huh. That she will be appearing. That's wild. But it's his book. And you know what? This is what I've been saying for the longest, is that the Sussexes can either do things together or stand alone. And either way, it is an event when they show up. And I haven't seen anything like that since like when Oprah went to Australia. You know, Oprah used to bring the crowds, right? I mean, it was an event. And so when the Sussexes show up, there's always a lot of fuss. People are just excited. And so the tabloids have to hire a few hecklers to stand outside so that they can interview those hecklers and say that, they were booed or jeered or whatever at a certain event. But thank you, Ruth Lopez. You took the words right out of my mouth. All right. So while I was up last night listening to Prince Harry's audible book of Spare, I got a little busy. This gave me something to do. As I listened to Harry recount his experience with that family, and of course his brother and his sister-in-law, I started thinking, well, they're just a couple of puppets, aren't they? So I decided that I would, you know, get out my old photoshopping editing skills and come up with a little something that definitely reminded me of that puppet show called Will and Kate. So more Kate than Will, but yeah, I thought about them, and so literally while I was sitting there listening to Harry, I started working on this. So hope you like it. It just although I have to say this is probably more accurate, right? um Mannequin, something stiff and plastic and jointed that you can hang clothes upon, but this one works too. And I didn't do anything to that weird angle that her head is. It's just like that. But yeah, so that was what I did for fun last night. All right, so right here, by the time we get Harry's book, no one will care anymore. That's what Celia Walden said. Now, I believe that is Boris Johnson's wife. The Duke of Sussex's book will set to be published later this year, but Harry fatigue will have set in well before then. Um, they hope that fatigue sets in, only for the book to have been published and received, the Guinness Book of Records, right? But 1.4 million copies of Prince Harry's memoir sold in the first day in the US, UK, and Canada alone. It's the largest first day total for any nonfiction book ever published by Random House. And there you have it. Harry's hatchet job memoir falls flat as cues failed to appear at major bookshops. Well, I shared this with you yesterday, but again, no validity to that whatsoever. Oh, it's going to end up at the Tesco's for £8, or none of that stuff happened. The book sold very well. Now, usually I don't bother with body language experts, but something caught my eye here. A body language expert says Kate and William's smiles were unconvincing and defiant yesterday. The couple made their first public appearance since Spare dropped. And if, as you can see, well, I had saved that one image of Kate in the upper left, I'm sorry, the upper right, where she gives that very sly look to the camera. I mean, yeah, they want to believe that the world is in on their joke. But the thing is, people are not laughing with you, they're laughing at you. In a modern world, someone like this really has no place. You are a curiosity, both of you, just a curiosity. All of the military uniforms, at some point, I promise you guys, at some point, they are going to be embarrassed for their, wearing these military uniforms without any of the patron of the royal guards and such. How ridiculous. It'd be one thing if you had actually experienced those things, but without that experience, it's just ridiculous. Talk about toy soldier. Let's see. Most people ordered online in advance. They knew it would sell well. Lydia, and that reminds me of the 2020 election, how Trump had told people not to vote early and that he tried to create this expectation that those votes wouldn't be valid. And by the time election day came around, what was supposed to be a red tsunami never materialized enough to save him because he knew that the early voters were mostly voting Democrat. And so there's a lot to be said about voting early or voting through the mail, just like there's a lot to be said about advanced book sales that are done online, obviously, where people have actually ordered the book online, received the book. The book is in the mail on that first day that the book is sold. So, in that one day, I'm trying to figure out, does that 1.4 million include the people who had ordered in advance? Does that number include the people that ordered in advance, or is that, you know, quote unquote, the election day turnout or the book release day turnout for the sake of conversation? So I'm telling you, the final numbers are going to be interesting. I don't want to get too excited, but I'm excited. Thank you so much, Lydia. Black Queen says so. Her real name is spelled Catherine, um, versus Catherine with a K. So why are the derangers mad when we call her Kate? Well, because William preferred her to have the name Catherine. He wanted people to use Catherine instead of Kate. So people would just say Kate Middleton instead of Catherine Middleton. Um, and then I also want to say that I heard somewhere that when they were married, that he was hoping that the queen would grant her the princess title before she died, as opposed to waiting for it. I don't think the queen was ever really close to Kate. I don't think the queen had a lot of respect for Kate, and that is why it bothered them so bad when they saw the queen having fits of laughter with Meghan, and she's never had that exchange with Kate. Kate has never had that level of intimacy with the queen that Meghan had. So that bothered them, that Meghan could actually um you know have that connection to the queen, like it says in the book that Meghan had wrote the queen a letter, and the queen responded to the letter, much to the surprise of everybody around. So there was a connection. Obviously, there was a connection. But then there was also the men in gray suits, and there was Charles, and even William. And it just got very complicated for that reason. But yeah, so the queen, from what I hear, I don't know how true that is, but the queen, and this wasn't in the book, I had heard this a long time ago, would not grant the princess title to Catherine with a C, instead of Kate with the K. So yeah, William preferred people call her Catherine. He always referred to her as Catherine and never Kate. Let's see. Church Nelly says, if I was Megan, I so would have treated Slim and Dim like the hysterical passengers in airplane with a wrench. I love that part where the lady was hysterical and they started walking toward her with all of those blunt objects. That was hilarious. Thank you, Church Nelly. Remind me never to cross you. Uh, okay. Hey, Baron, have you seen the GB News interview with Lady Victoria Harvey talking about the Sussexes and how they will have a messy divorce delusional? I have not seen that. Mostly, I never watch the GB News. On occasion, I can't help but catch the look of what's her name, Nana. But I have to tell you, was it Carlin H? When we have people bringing up the idea of divorce and stuff like that, the first thing we think of is troll. So just so you know, we don't usually entertain those conversations. So it's always kind of weird when someone who has, obviously been subscribed for over a week, um, I can't tell you how many times they say, "Oh, I'm still thinking about what I read the other day about them seeing divorce lawyers." Oh, yeah, not a good look. But thank you for your comment. Let's see here. I shouldn't laugh, but that's true. A lot of um, a lot of Trump's supporters could not have actually voted post mortem. So, yeah, there's a reason why he didn't have as many votes. The ones that were still around may have been hospitalized or whatever. So, okay, let's move on, shall we? Kate Middleton and Prince William wore matching outfits for their first engagement following Spare. There goes that crap-eating grin. William did his best, not really his comfort or set point, but he did his best to smile. And then Kate, of course, well, she's on autopilot with the smile, so it doesn't take much. Let me see here. Baron pre-orders of Spare at Amazon were sold out, booked in a hurry. When I ordered my copy, let me see, and returned fifth pre-order. Another one. Only Spanish copies were available. Really? Okay. Now I got to tell you, Celia, when I purchased a copy for a friend of mine, the copy she received actually had just a hint of epoxy near Harry's ear on the cover. So obviously, the person who sold the book was like a third party seller. They purchased it from a bookstore and took the price tag off of the book and left just a hint of epoxy on it. Not unusual that that happens. The book is still new, still a perfect readable book, as evident by the fact I haven't heard from that friend in a while. But yeah, so that is where I imagine that particular copy came from, was that person snapped it up from one of the local bookshops and then sold it on Amazon. So nothing wrong with it, but if I had to bet why there would have been the presence of that very tacky epoxy on the cover, is because there was probably a price tag there. Uh, okay. Let me see here. Royal family are banned from taking selfies as Queen disapproved of disrespectful trend. So again, because of the influence of the Sussexes, you have them dressing alike, right? Or complimenting each other with their dress. Also, you have the selfies. William is doing his best to smile. They're even hugging people. William, who does not like to hug. Kate, who also doesn't enjoy an embrace from a stranger or anybody else for that matter, especially Will. Both of them all of a sudden are hugging people. Again, that's the influence of Harry and Meghan. Let's see, the princess. Let me see. Prince William and Princess Catherine shake hands and take selfies with crowd outside their stop, whatever's up under that watermark there. This was the couple's second stop of the day. And then down there it says, Victoria Murphy, Meghan is learning the royal ropes already, telling one couple who asked for selfies in Nottingham today, we're not allowed to do selfies. Well, that's from 2017. And if you guys remember, in the fall of 2017, after the announcement, excuse me, Harry began to take Meghan to all the realms of the UK, including Northern Ireland, I believe, to meet people. And she was a big hit. So there you go. And then let's get into this bit of messy. Let me take that. Panther 325 says the Queen invited Meghan on the royal train, but not Kate. Oh, there was a lot of firsts for Meghan. There was a lot of things that were happening to get Meghan up to speed and in the throes of her work with that family. But again, there were people that were so jealous and so envious of the attention that she received that all manner of bad things began to happen. And again, you can read about it in Harry's book. Baron, you are so spot on. Thank you, Noreen Lovelock. Not sure what I said, but thank you. Okay, Kate wants my fashion contacts. I'm sorry, Kate. Megan wants my fashion contacts. Me, those shoes? Okay, so this is the big controversy that was obviously in the book, since we're talking about it, is that there was some mention that Megan somehow, some way, was just trying to get close to Kate because she wanted Kate's fashion contacts. Megan was trying to get her fashion contacts. Yes, Megan also wanted to ride around and visit people with this unusual, bizarre open panel in the back of her blazer to show off. Well, for that person in particular, I won't. It's an insult to behinds to say to show off her behind, but um, it's bad enough that Kate wore that blazer with the actual matching pants. But if you look on the left side, you can see she wore it teamed up with some, I'm not even sure what to call those. With those, are they leggings or whatever that is? She decided to team that jacket up. Now, maybe that's something that she purchased to get William's attention. But wait, did I just say but? That sounds redundant. Anyway, um, well, I better say but because we definitely don't see one. Oh, those are supposed to be booty pants. Okay, okay, um, okay. I see a little shadow. I mean, it's not completely non-existent. Now, and as we know from some of her fashion fails, that the newly minted Princess of Wales loves to rock a thong. Woo, she loves to rock a thong. Um, I don't feel bad saying that because we've seen the evidence, thanks to social media and a few foreign magazines that dare show us the actual image of her bum. I mean, she even was known to have hung her behind out the window when she went to school. I mean, seriously, she was known as Kate Middlebum, that she would literally hang her behind out the window whilst attending St. Andrews or whatever school she was going to at the time. So this very example of the English rose and class and the aristocracy wasn't always so hoity-toity. No, no. There are the shoes in question. If you take a look at the middle image, that is the shoes that she's wearing at this juice bar or whatever it is. So Megan was pining for her fashion contacts. Seriously? Seriously. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I think that Megan may have worn a coat dress on maybe a handful of occasions, but for Kate, that's a uniform, is her coat dress. Ne'er has there ever been anybody who's worn more coat dresses, not even the Queen has worn as many coat dresses in a given time as Kate. And I let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that. I should have had this ready. But Okay. Let me see. Okay. Uh I know somebody woke up on the wrong side of messy, right? Somebody woke up on the wrong side of messy. Mm. Oh, wait. Let me do this. All right. Got it. Got it. Got it. Nope, not that. Not that. Oh, Lord. How come I can't find that when I'm looking for it? Anyway, I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it. No big deal. Um, huh, interesting. All right, but I'll come back to it. Let's get on with it. So anyway, that is what Meghan has been covertly after was Kate's fashion contacts. Uh, for what I don't know. Maybe she wanted to berate them for making her sister-in-law look so ridiculous for so long. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe Meghan wanted to take them to task for the way for the ill-fitted um unlikely rude way that they have been dressing Kate. Somebody needed to do it. Maybe Meghan was the one who was willing to take them to task for dressing her the way that they do. Maybe. I'm just saying that's a possibility. I don't know that for sure. um Let me see here. Aha. Still don't have it. Lord. Okay. Ava Langren says William and Kate must be really angry. That's because Harry's book, they have to spend time with each other to keep up. Ooh, Ava. Ava, I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't. Let's go back and take a look. Oh, 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 oh. Yes, I think you're onto something there. That does make them angry. And even without that, you know that because of the Megan effect, they actually have to work now. That's another thing that has caused aggravation is because when Megan showed up, they were comfortable watching Harry and Queen and even Philip doing most of the engagements and stuff. Even in their declining years, the king, I'm sorry, the Queen and Philip were doing all those engagements that Kate couldn't be bothered. So I think you're onto something there. Okay, so I found what I was looking for. Let me share that with you. You guys have seen it before, but I love to rub it in. Oh, I love to rub it in. Okay, wait, where is it? My favorite and yours. There we go. There we go.
Meghan in a Valentino white. Compare, I hate to do this, but compare Meghan in a Valentino white, absolutely wowing the crowds, and dear Kate in that very staid 1940s Amelia Wickstead coat.
Oh, you're really winding me up now, yeah.
Well, I knew that would upset you, Richard, because I know you're more of a Middleton kind of girl and you like the sort of twin set and pearls 50s look. But all I'm saying is, who's speaking to the future generations, the younger generations? It's Meghan.
One more time. One more time.
Meghan in a Valentino white. Compare, I hate to do this, but compare Meghan in a Valentino white, absolutely wowing the crowds, and dear Kate in that very staid 1940s Amelia Wickstead coat.
Oh, you're really winding me up now, yeah.
Well, I knew that would upset you, Richard, because I know you're more of a Middleton kind of girl and you like the sort of twin set and pearls 50s look. But all I'm saying is, who's speaking to the future generations, the younger generations? It's Meghan.
I've said it once and I've said it a million times. Every time they try to tear Meghan down by lifting up Kate, they only embarrass Kate. They should stop doing that. It's embarrassing for Kate to make this comparison. She's always going to come up short. Just because she gets to raid Granny's jewel box. Oh, why did I say toolbox? What Freudian slip just made me say toolbox? I can't really peg it right now, but somehow I just slipped and said toolbox. Oh Lord. Um anyway. Marina Magrabanus Mavrogenis. Yes. Thank you so much for the super sticker and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. But yes, I slipped and said toolbox, but I meant to say jewel box. So y'all know what I meant to say. Kate just needs to stick with her 1950s coat dress. Needs to stop these 21st century fashion cosplay adventures, please. Thank you, Kathy Gabby. And Shelly L says, I just stepped away and came back to see you intermittently Walmart photos with Kate's pictures. What is this I missed? Oh, intermingling her Walmart. Well, this is about, let me find that for you. They said, wait, have I gone back too far? Nope. Where is it at? Oh, yeah. Kate said, Meghan wants my fashion contacts. And then, of course, one of the squatties looked down and said, those shoes? And then, of course, that really started me and got me all wound up. I'm like, those shoes, that coat dress, that's Kate. But anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you, as always, for watching Royal Sussex. Hey, pure YT Entertainment Team Sussex. Thank you for always fighting the good fight. Thank you so much for being here. And then, of course, there's one of her more daring fashion fiascos. Like, okay, I have to keep saying this, and I know, but I get so much glee out of it. Kate wore those country cottage kitchen curtain green, that green dress. She wore that like a week before Meghan came back and socked it to the royal family with those colorful outfits that she wore for her last tour. So Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stole attention from Prince William and Kate Middleton. It happened before with Princess Diana. Well, when you dress in the Jolly Green Giant dress, when Meghan comes in wearing this, was that a Victoria Beckham dress that she wore? I think that was Victoria Beckham. It may have been. I'm not sure. But I mean, look at this. It's not just another style. It's a whole nother mood. It's a whole nother experience. I mean, why would you wear that country cottage kitchen curtain fabric dress when you could wear something sleek and elegant like the Duchess of Sussex? Coordinated with the Duke of Sussex as always. I mean, people referred to that as one of the best royal photos ever. Don't ever get it twisted, especially you guys that are hate listening. It affects the Cambridges with everything they got going for them and going their way. It deeply affects and humiliates them that Meghan, that actress from Hollywood, comes in there and she shows them how easy it is to be a duchess. All of this stuff that the press made about how hard it is and pitting one against the others, and Kate is going to show her the ropes. Well, if Kate is going to show her, who's going to show Kate? Who's going to show Kate? Who has been carrying Kate thus far? That's what I want to know. Who has been carrying Kate all these years? could blow her stack. She never speaks up. Not 1 ounce overweight. This will backfire for the royal family. She'll snap one day and it won't be pretty. Absolutely, she's going to snap like a fresh snow pea. No offense, Jolly Green Giant, but she's going to snap like a fresh snow pea. You're going to hear something go tick, and that's going to be Kate going berserk. So just before the Sussexes called it quits, Meghan comes back and dazzles, wearing something very simple and yet chic and elegant, and even has her hair pulled back in the bun. I mean, just how could it be more simplistic but yet elegant? It stole the show. Yes, that was Meghan's mic drop right there. That was her mic drop. It was her last week, and Harry and Meghan coordinated. Booyah! It was a huge success. But we are supposed to believe, according to the tabloids, that Meghan was after her fashion contest. um, the Duchess of Windsor is calling. She'd like her hipless dresses back. This, of course, was back in the day when they kept comparing Kate to Wallace Simpson. A lot of y'all may have forgotten that, but I haven't. Every time you turn around, there was Kate looking like Wallace Simpson. Kate was constantly compared to Wallace Simpson. Uh, that was just the way the press saw her. I mean, it wasn't just the occasional article, it was quite a few of them. If you Google Kate and Wallace Simpson, you're going to find all kind of images comparing those rather slender hips and, of course, those gowns or dresses or whatever. You're going to find that there are multiple images of that very same type of thing going on. So, okay, Kate Middleton's new scientific approach to dressing. Duchess has ditched shift dresses for tonal jumpers and coats with sleek trousers to create a polished uniform that simplifies dressing for a busy mother of three. You know, I was doing fine until I got to the part where it said busy. I was doing okay till I got to busy. Busy doing what? Sitting around being rich and privileged? Waiting to hop on a helicopter? What busy? Big Mama says Meghan came in trying not to step on toes. When she realized nothing she did would make a difference, she ran right over them. Exactly. All she did was show up and just, pull some of her. A lot of the clothes that she wore was stuff she had already. And then other pieces that she acquired over time just happened to be the look, just happened to sell out immediately. And Kate has never had that effect on anything or anybody. Nothing she wears ever sells out. You never see a stampede of people trying to find, oh, if I can get my hands on that coat dress, my whole life will change. The Duchess of Cambridge 39 relies upon tonal coats and jumpers with trousers. She stepped out in a raspberry jumper and coat from Hobbs on Wednesday. Outfit was similar to one worn by mother of three on several appearances. The formulaic approach to dressing is an easy way to look polished on the go. Again, where is she going? We don't see her sometimes for 30, 60 to 90 days. Where is she going? You don't even see her. Do you guys know that they took 4 weeks off before Christmas and just came back the other day to wear that ridiculous grin that she had? That was the first time back in like 4 weeks. So what is this busy mother of three on the go? I'm like, make that make sense. Okay, so this is the science. Dark trousers coat, turtleneck. Dark trousers, coat, crew neck. Dark trousers, coat, polka dots. That's science? That's scientific? Now, when you say scientific, exactly, dizzy mother of three. Um, if that's scientific, I would like to see what would happen if she wasn't dressing scientific. I don't see it. Now they say that this is, I'm telling you guys, I saved that headline for an occasion such as this. This is what Meghan was trying to secretly coerce out of her, was the name of her designers so that she too could walk around dressing scientifically. Uh, and then, of course, there are some outfits that are so ugly that you just hide behind a partition. That's bad when you wear something so ugly that you start sliding behind a wall. You start sliding behind the threshold. See how she's kind of sliding over to her left? That's because it was so scientific. It began to embarrass her. So she tried to hide behind that partition. And then when she noticed that people were looking at her, she just had to come on out of hiding because, like I say, some outfits are just so ugly. You can't really hide. I mean, who wears blue to an occasion like that and then try to hide? So that didn't work out. but 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 look at the way she's trying to hide behind the wall. We see you. Everybody see you. And notice she's not grinning. No cameras, no grin. So they kind of caught her off guard where she wasn't grinning. But other than that, she usually started grinning and start doing that hand motion because if you work them hands enough, then don't nobody notice how ugly your dress is. So right here, you can see her doing her Mary Poppins couture. When all else fails, go Mary Poppins. It's just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. The medicine go down. The medicine go down. It takes a spoonful of sugar. So just a spoonful of sugar could make those fashion tastes come round. There you go. Mary Poppins couture. And then, of course, why wouldn't Meghan want those fashion contacts so she can join that new trend that Kate has started where you put your trousers on backwards? Or are they? Because for some reason I can't tell. Um, I can't tell whether she's coming or going. Is her feet on backwards? Is she walking forward? Has she wound her torso around? I cannot tell. Every time I look at that photo, I'm trying to figure out, is the pants on backwards or is she facing the other way and turn? I don't know. But those trousers confound me because I cannot figure out what's going on. So obviously Meghan wanted to join that trend of wearing the backwards trousers, right? And then of course, that sometimes it looks like a dark floral print, sometimes it looks like an animal print, sometimes it looks alive. I don't know what she's wearing with them black boots, but I have to tell you, you'll never find anything else like it outside of a resale shop or a car boot sale. And then on the right side, there's the mother of the solid gold dancer. If Meghan wants to look like the mother of a solid gold dancer, then of course she will have to shake down Kate and find out who her fashion contacts are. Because, I mean, after all, what woman would not want to look like the mother of a solid gold dancer? Uh, What mother of two would not want to look like? Well, of course, Meghan was had just married into the family, and Kate had this recurring nightmare that Meghan was trying to steal her fashion contacts. Well, I'm starting to see why she was worried. I mean, you can't have two people in this world dressing like that. I mean, seriously, you just shouldn't. And then, of course, that was the day that she cosplayed the Eminem girl, or the windsock. I could see Megan not wearing that. I could definitely see Megan not wearing that. Even the arms flailing around looks just like Kate. And do you notice that when she doesn't have her clutch, that she doesn't know what to do with her hands, so she just starts squeezing her fingers? That's all that tension and nervousness. She got that little nervous tick. And then, of course, Kate's top looks for 2022. Princess of Wales most searched for outfits, including daring off the shoulder gown wore to Top Gun premiere, and the demure Jenny Packman design she wore during the Windsor walkabout. Demure would describe most everything she wears. And then, of course, from time to time, she'll borrow something from mommy, and mommy borrows something from her. So there's occasions when Kate wants to look like the air hostess, just like her mama. So she will borrow some of her mother's air hostess outfits. Uh, Oh, she will borrow some of her mama's air hostess outfits. I mean, what young mother of three on the go doesn't want to dress like an air hostess? And what about that time when Kate helped William lose half the Commonwealth? And even though the trip was already going terribly wrong, what did she do? She dressed like Miss Scarlet. Miss Scarlet. I don't know nothing about birthing no babies. Miss Scarlet. Miss Scarlet. She literally dressed like Miss Scarlet on a Caribbean disastrous trip, to the likes of which she and William lost half the Commonwealth. Who goes to the Caribbean dressed like Miss Scarlet? Miss Scarlet. Kate, that's who. I mean, I've seen some pretty ridiculous harebrained things in my life, but why would you go down to the Caribbean dressed like Miss Scarlet from Gone with the Wind? I don't understand that. All the only thing was missing was Rhett Butler and Tara. That's the only thing that was missing, was Rhett Butler and Tara. Other than that, she had the whole look. That's embarrassing. But remember, Megan was trying to steal her fashion contacts. How about her Minnie Mouse couture? I'm sure Megan would have looked fetching in an outfit like that. Or what about her college days with the see-through dress? And then again, like I said, there has been occasions when Kate has seen someone twice her age and said, "You know what? I'll have a go at that." I mean, what young woman hasn't seen someone twice her age and said to herself, "You know what? I'll have that. Kate, I'll have that." So, to sum things up, I think that Megan is doing just fine. They want people to believe that Kate has actually brought back the off the shoulder look, but I beg to differ. Megan has had many examples of wearing things off the shoulders. It's like one of her finest assets is her bare shoulders. So, whoever started this thing about Megan trying to steal her contacts, please stop embarrassing your future queen. I'm embarrassed for her. even if she doesn't know what to do with her hands. And how about that time when they came to Boston and Kate showed up looking like Chairman Mao? Remember that? Remember when she got off the plane there at Logan Airport dressed up like Chairman Mao? She had her Mao Taesong, what is it, Mao Taesong polyester suit. Only Kate could bring back Chairman Mao. Never mind that tomb. He's not in that tomb. He's Kate. Kate is Chairman Mao, and Chairman Mao is Kate. So, oh man, I'm serious, you guys. If you go and Google Chairman Mao outfit, Mao Taesong suits, you can still find those on the internet. So, how clever of she to wear such an outfit, especially in Boston, practically the birthplace of the United States Constitution, or the independence movement for the United States, Boston Tea Party, and everything. And what does she do? She shows up dressed like Chairman Mao, one of the finest examples of communism there's ever been. Or how about when she stood on the steps of the Lindo Wing dressed like Rosemary's Baby? What about that day she stood on the steps of the Lindo Wing dressed like Rosemary's Baby? Huh? Does that seem like a look that Meghan would be interested in? You have a newborn baby, and yet you standing on the steps of the Lindo Wing dressed like Rosemary's Baby. I don't understand that. And one of the squatties, what I had said something about Rosemary's Baby, not realizing that that was actually a thing. I don't know where I got it from, but I mentioned it, and one of the squatties inboxed me with the actual photos. And I said, "Oh my God, I was just kidding." But there you have it. Kate channels Rosemary's Baby. Wait. Please tell me that's not Louis. Please tell me that's not the child that pistol whipped her. Please don't let me believe that that's the one that pistol whipped her that day. Because if that is the case, I'm suddenly I'm frightened. Uh, oh man. But you could understand why Megan would be so eager to get her hands on Kate's fashions, because who wouldn't want to look like that? I would. Yeah, I wonder if that's baby Louis. Yeah, might have been Louis. And then of course there was when Kate channeled Wicked, and she channeled The Shadow. And one of my favorites is when she channeled Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies. There are many looks, interesting, dynamic looks to Kate that have been unforgettable that we have all enjoyed over the years. But if I had to settle upon one look that I thought was particularly interesting, I would have to, I don't know. There's so many I can't really commit right now. But that was supposed to be like a really big night for her. Is when she wore that off the shoulder. Is it Roland Milan or Malin, whatever that designer is? She wore that one off the shoulder, and of course, the tabloids was nice enough to do some Photoshop, right? And anyway, that's supposed to be a good night for her. Kate Middleton spends an eye watering amount on clothes as the UK struggles. Now, that was just January the 8th. New figures have revealed the astonishing amount of money that the Princess of Wales spent on her wardrobe last year. Kate Middleton spent $337,000, that's US dollars, on her 2022 wardrobe, major increase from 2021. But yet, when they spoke about Kate, it was something to celebrate. But when they spoke about Meghan, even though Meghan has her own self created wealth, even though Meghan was rich when she got to that family, it was a big deal how much money Meghan may or may not have spent on her fashions. In the city with UK's highest cost of living, leaving home to stay warm. Wow. And then over here, impact of increased cost of living on adults across Great Britain, June to September. Well, they even got some figures to back that up. But none of that is important. What we really need to focus on is that Kate is spending more money on her clothes than ever before. But it's not all bad, you guys, because at least now she doesn't show her behind to everybody. There was a time when most outings you would find that her dress was laying on top of the back of her head or flying up in her face or, you know, but now at least she keeps everything down, um, or well, down. So there are improvements to her fashions, and maybe that's why she's gone to the coat dress because they don't fly up. So English rose, ladies and gentlemen, that is the quintessential English rose. Baron, look again at baby Louis. His fingers are creeping me out. I'm afraid, but let's do it. Uh, right. Even in that moment, he's trying to tug at her. Woo! Thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, you're right. Even in that moment, he already coming for her. It is a prelude of events to come. So, ooh, instead of sleeping, he's pretending to sleep, and that little hand is rising up out of that bundle, trying to yank that pierced earring off. Woo! Okay. Okay, thank you for that one, Black Queen. Oh man. Okay, so not Cott's comfort. Sir, I was amused by the Duke of Sussex complaint that Nottingham Cottage in the grounds of Kensington Palace was constructed for small people, humans of a bygone era. Cottage had IKEA lamps and felt like frat house, is what was said about the not cot. My father Philip, um, hey, lived there for 10 years until, oh, that is his name, Father Philip Hay. Lived there for 10 years until his death in 1986. I wonder what killed him. Low ceilings? He was 6'4" and was entirely happy and comfortable there, even by the standards of humans of today. He had worked for the royal family for nearly 40 years, which he regarded as a privilege. As he did living at Nottingham Cottage, he never complained about anything. Well, of course, we don't know because he's dead. But he spent 3.5 years as prisoner of war in Burma Railway, so probably knew little about physical or mental comforts. Andrew Hay, London, whatever, Southwest number 6. Okay. Well, listen. Um, yeah, you think it's a made up story? It possibly could be. Let me tell you something. Nottingham Cottage was built back in 16 something or other. It is a what do you call it? It's a landmark, a listed building. And of course, it is adjacent, as Harry said, it's adjacent to Kensington Palace, but it's not the actual palace. It's on the palace grounds. It's a servant's quarter. And yes, people were shorter back then. And if this person is or was or could have been real, let me tell you something. This is a grace and favor property. So if you 6'10" and somebody says, "Oh, just move into Nottingham Cottage," it won't cost you a thing. Well, you won't get any complaints out of me either, because chances are, back in those days, if he was living at Nottingham Cottage and working for the royal family, he wasn't paying nothing. I'd have kept my mouth shut too. But again, this alleged person or supposed person that lived there is dead. And I am going to wonder if that person may have succumbed to a terrible head injury being 6'4" and living in Nottingham Cottage. If he was 6'4" and living in Nottingham Cottage, I would love to have seen a CAT scan or some kind of imaging of his cranial before they, bid him adieu, just to verify that my suspicions are correct. Poor guy probably kept hitting his head. He was probably knocked silly a few times living at Nottingham Cottage. I wouldn't have told nobody nothing like that. That is so stupid. Um, so this little dollhouse called Nottingham Cottage, apparently, it is a listed building, and yes, back in those days, people were shorter. It would have been so unusual for someone 6'2" or 6'3", whatever Harry is, to live in a property like that, let alone to have been given a property like that in the first place. So, but let's take a look at some of the other homes. This is Nottingham Cottage. You can just barely see it there on the grounds of Kensington Palace. I believe, let me see. I believe it is on, you see where that little driveway is in that red circle? I believe that's it right there with the white picket fence along the drive there, right? And then take a look yonder to the right. You see the courtyard with the cars parked in it? Well, the building with the white roof, the newly renovated white energy efficient roof, that part of Kensington Palace, that I believe is where the Cambridges were living, right? That is where the Cambridges were living. So you had Harry over there in the servants' quarters, and then about, I would say, I don't know how many yards or feet or meters away, but it's a nice little distance. I mean, it's like having a family member living like a block away, and then also you have to go around to get to them. But yeah, so that's where the Cambridges were living in their very posh apartment that once belonged to Princess Margaret, the largest apartment at Kensington Palace. And even with that, they didn't think that was enough for them. So they actually, um, the Queen gifted them Amer Hall. Now, this is where Princess Anne lives in the lap of luxury, albeit dusty and overcrowded. Even though she lives like Fred G. Sanford, uh, uh, Princess Anne received a wedding gift from the Queen, this palatial house. And Zara Phillips and her husband Mike Tyndall, Zara the tongue ring Tyndall, and Mike also live on the estate. So there's another house on the property, which is where the Tyndalls live. Bones on, 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 on. Bones on, bones on, dun, dun, dun. Bones on, dun, 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 bones on, dun, dun, dun. Bones on, dun, 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 dun. Uh, I tell you, at a glance, you really can't tell Ann's house from Fred Sanford's house. Bones on, dun, dun, dun. Does on dun 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 does on dun 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 dun. Oh man. Okay, so and then of course there is Ford Fiesta's house. This big sprawling estate is where the Wessexes live. This is why I can't understand why they always so angry. How could you be angry when the queen has given you this big palatial home in the countryside? How could you be so angry? You took the words out of my mouth. Lamont, you big dummy. Lamont, you big dummy. You big dummy, Lamont. But yes, how could you be angry? I mean, yes, you'll never be a duchess, you'll never be a duke, but look at the size of this sprawling estate. And it cost them absolutely nothing. She had a PR firm that went belly up. So when she arrived, she had bin liners for luggage. I mean, she was down to bin liners when she moved in with her non binary husband. So she has really come up. And then, of course, him with his production company that also was a big failure. I mean, it was such a failure and so embarrassing that the queen was just like, yes, 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 take anything, but please don't embarrass the family. Yes, I will get you a house. I'll give you one of the grace and favors, but stop embarrassing us, would you? And so now they are free to roam around in big leg jumpsuit pants and maxi coats with the red lining. And of course, whatever on God's green earth she's wearing in that other picture there. I don't even know what that is. That looks like a roadmap to hell. Um, whatever that ancient frumpy garment she has on, I think if you lay it out, it should be a map to some treasure or something. But you just have to follow the terrain on that dress, and it should lead you to riches beyond belief. I mean, anything that looks that bad ought to have a pot of gold at the other end. So uh, she can dress like Gumby or the Crackerjack boy or whatever. It doesn't matter because she has this big palatial estate. The only thing is she will never, and I do mean never, rise to the ranks of Duchess. She's been a countess since 1999. And maybe that's why they left her at the title Countess, because that's all she can count on is being a Countess, never a Duchess. Or as I like to say, not a Duchess. And then, of course, there's her husband, who is slowly brooding and angry and just, yeah, I thought I was going to be the Duke of Edinburgh. Now he's free to well, I guess he can't chase black men away from her's mother anymore because well, she's gone to the other side. So she's in the Valley of the Kings, if you know what I mean. So there is there is is it Edward there's Edward giving me that that Anthony Perkins energy that he is so able to give. He's letting off that Anthony Perkins energy. There's something about him reminds me of that movie for some reason, Psycho. Mother, mother, oh God, mother. That's what he reminds me of. Is Psycho. Oh man, right? Isn't he giving you that? Isn't he giving you that Anthony Perkins vibe? It's like when nobody's looking, he's gonna ball those roses up in his fingers. If I was Charles, I would give him the damn title and stop playing. Now Charles is messing with his head. I don't think that's a good idea. I say don't mess with his head, leave it alone, and give it a chance to heal. Hello, Ivy here. Hey, Ivy! Y'all, Ivy's in the house. Hey, Ivy! And speaking of houses, there's Prince William's pile, his country pile, one of them anyway. William has Amber Hall. Now, the family that was living there loved that place, and who wouldn't? It's a beautiful home. However, because William wanted it, and whatever William gets, William had that family kicked to the curb, literally. They only had X amount of time to pack so that they could renovate the place at taxpayers' expense because it's listed. It is a crown estate, grace and favor. So they renovated the house at a staggering price, and the Cambridges moved in, but yet maintained a property over at Kensington Palace. See that white roof right there? The largest apartment in all of Kensington Palace. See all those dormers? See that white roof? That whole like block right there is Cambridge territory. Now, Prince and Princess of Wales. Margaret's old apartment, the largest at Kensington Palace. And then, of course, Admiral Hall. Where is it? Admiral Hall. And then, of course, the Adelaide Cottage. And then on the grounds of Balmoral, there's a mystery house that very few people know about. So all in all, they got Admiral Hall, they got Kensington Palace, they got the Adelaide Cottage, and they have some retreat up there in Balmoral. Not the main house, but a retreat. There's another place up there. So there's 4 properties. And also, they are going to move into Windsor Castle at some point. So if they haven't already, I mean, that way Kate can be close to the Queen's jewels. I'm being really petty today. Cheryl Bennett, thank you so much for joining me on one of my more petty episodes of Royal Sussex. And thank you so much for the super sticker. Now, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. If you notice, this particular, let me see, shares of Britons with favorable opinion of the following, and that's January 2018. So the Queen had 85%. Harry was up to 87%. William, 83. Duchess Doolittle, 78. And then there's Philip, Charles, and already the hate campaign had started against Meghan, like she was some type of usurper that was trying to steal their prince. So she's at the staggering 53%, pretty bad for the amount of popularity as much as the money that was brought to the UK because of the marriage. And then there's Camilla. Look at where Camilla is. Can you believe? I mean, considering where Camilla is today, look at where Camilla was back then. Interesting, isn't it? And they didn't even make an allowance for Andrew. He wasn't even important. But look at where Camilla is and consider where she is today. She was down to 31% popularity. And I think considering the person that she is and what she's done to get there, I think that's too high. I think she should poll beneath Andrew, but that's just my opinion. Let's see. I can't stay for long. Been surviving on 3 to 4 hours sleep this week, last few days or so. Need sleep tomorrow. I plan to have a few sleeping sessions throughout the day and night. Wow. Okay. You must be busy working on something. Well, thank you for stopping by. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. So that is what I wanted to share with you. But this is what's important right now is that those two people have about as much appeal as a horse and wagon, the old rotary phone, even the Rolodex. All of those things have pretty much gone out of fashion and are nearly been, well, they've been pretty much rendered useless, except for the sake of nostalgia. They have no point or no purpose. And so one could say the same thing about the Prince and Princess of Wales. Your whole life, you know you're going to be the Prince of Wales one day, but yet when your father ascends to the throne, leaving you the Princess of, whoops, was that a Freudian slip? Leaving you the Prince of Wales, you don't even speak the language. Not a word. Helpful, right? Right. Anyway, which is probably why there is such a massive movement to rid Wales of that title, especially for a non Welsh born person, and also to rid themselves of the union known as the United Kingdom. So that is that. And I think with that, I am going to close with this young lady right here. Uh, she has read Prince Harry's Spare, as I have too, and she has some opinions about the royal family that I would say are pretty jarring to anyone who's crazy about the family or the institution, except for Harry and Meghan, of course. But anybody who's a big fan of that institution will obviously find her opinions about said institution to be rather uh, frightening. But she said what she said. So I will share that with you. Um,
And I love Prince Harry, and Prince Harry should be king. He should be king. Prince Harry, not William. William and all of them in there, Camilla is the wicked witch of the devil himself, because she is part of why Princess Diana is not here. I do not like them. I am from the islands, and we don't need them in the Caribbean. Get lost. Demolish the monarchy. This is 2023, okay? And I will support Harry 100%. I do feel for him. Yes, I do. And everything in the book is the truth. And Charles is the monster, not Harry. Harry's no monster, not Meghan. He's bringing the story out right now. They are evil people. They are not nice. Behind the wall, we all are one human being. And behind that wall there are no difference with me and you and any other Brits. Give the people back the money. They are just welfare recipients living off the taxpayers of the British people. And the British people are stupid, supporting that nonsense monarchy. It is nothing. It's just a title. It means nothing, a title. I'm angry at them.
Oh my goodness. When she closes with, I am angry at them. Ha! What could I say? She had me at ha. But like she says, I'm from the island, and those are not people, whatever she said, but it was quite spirited, and I love the way she closed with the growl to let you know that she is fed up with it. I read the book, and I love Prince Harry, and I love Meghan. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for the donations. So Sherry Ware had a list for me yesterday, and I neglected to share it with you guys. So if you don't mind, I will do that right now. And let me see. Do I have one for today? I think I do. Okay. So, was that yesterday or is that today? Okay, yesterday. Yes. Oh, so okay. I don't think I have one for today. So yesterday, thank you very much, Elaine Shelley L twice and Khalil Simon thank you. And also Black Queen, Deirdre Mankey. And Deirdre has a 3 months membership, KDV. And also Golfing Mom from yesterday. Thank you very much. And as for today, hopefully I didn't miss anybody during today's Royal Sussex. I don't think I have a list for today. That is totally complimentary of Sherry Ware, one of the Mod Squad, by the way. So thank you very much. And on that note, thank you, Mod Squad, for your invaluable help. Without you, all this would not be the safe space that it is today. Also, do make sure you hit that like button on your way out. And please support all of our Sussex friendly platforms so that we can have as many voices out there as possible pushing against the narrative from the palace and from all of those co conspirators in the press. And of course, those henchmen for the Duchess of Cornwall, now the Queen Consort. I mean, that was well played of her to sacrifice so many people at the altar of her public relations, of her image, as Harry so aptly said in the book. And also, tomorrow, be prepared to speak about the book. So it'll be a little bit of a, what do you call that? A spoiler alert. I intend to speak freely about certain things from the book. I've been holding back for those of you all who have not finished the book. So try to do as much as you can today or tomorrow morning or whatever, and then we'll get into it. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow.
Nonsense monarchy. It is nothing. It's just a title. It means nothing. A title. I'm angry at them.
I'm angry at them. Ha! Okay, last word of the day. That's the last word. I'm angry at them. Thank you, stranger that read the book. And thank you to our queens in heaven and in California. Thank you very much. And then with that last word and those thank yous, I am going to move on to the ginger event. Well, actually, let's close with Meghan today. Madam Duchess. That's it, Madam Duchess. Let's close with Madam Duchess today. Ha. Okay, Madam Duchess. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Cue Madam Duchess. I am angry with them. Ha. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm in. Okay, watch Ivy from today and Petal from yesterday. Both excellent. All right, I'm in. Let me get Ivy's link and put it up there. Okay. Ha! All right, I'm going to grab Ivy's link and put it up there. Let me get away from some of these monsters, especially Rosemary's Baby. All right, I'll leave that one up there. There we go. Anything come for me? All right, so I'm going to find Ivy's link. Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy here. Oh, man. All right. Let me see. Make sure I got the right one. Okay, that's from 4 hours ago. And I am going to put the link here so you guys can click on that link. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Sussex Global UK. That's Ivy's channel. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And then I need to go back to where I was so that I can peg that to the top of the chats as I talk my way through this. Peg, peg, peg. Wait. There it is. Hello, Ivy here. Yeah, and then you guys get a chance to hear us say my favorite thing in the world. Hello, Ivy here. Okay, so there you have it. Ivy there. And then what else was I going to do? I think that was it, right? Okay, that was it. And then just for good measure, I am going to post that on the community tab. Okay, create a post. There we are. All right, so if you can't get the link from here, then go to the community tab and look for Hello, Ivy here. Hello, comma. Oh, that's not a comma. What is that? Hello, Ivy here. I love saying that. That never gets old. Hello, Ivy here. All right, cool. There it is. Ivy there. All right, you guys, thank you so much. I am out of here. I will see y'all tomorrow. Love you guys, and thank you so much for all of your help. And more importantly, thank you for trusting me to do this work. That is so, so important.